Good morning. I guess it's noon, isn't it? Or still morning. Let's see. Make sure everything's working okay. This is a book that I was looking through that I really like. I'm going to go through it more in depth, and the light's reflecting here off of my, even with the diffuser. Or diffuse light. I am checking the feed to make sure everything's good. I hope everybody's doing okay. Let's see. I've got my reference photo set up. You can see it there on the right hand side. Okay, we have sound. Yay! Hey Pierre, how are you? Man, I started going through this book that I opened the other day. There's a book haul video, if anybody's, that includes this one. And oh my. I'm going to have to go through this one really slow. I think this is, I was not that familiar with his work, except for a few I'd seen online, and I could see a relationship between him and John Singer Sargent, and who I love. So I got this book to learn more about him and have some reference images and, you know, whatnot. Typical, like an art book. But I think we may have started something here. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's going to adjust or not. His hands. Feels wet. Something on the cover. I don't want water on the paper. But the hands in this one alone. This is not the same one, obviously, as our reference, but I don't know if that's gonna. Anywho's, how's everybody doing? It's 1 p.m. here. Okay. It's time for me to start. To officially start. I have notes here, so we want to be thorough. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. Joaquin Sorolla. I am terrible at Spanish or pronunciations. I barely speak English, which is my first language. My only language, really. So I had to look up how to pronounce his name. So it's Joaquin Sorolla. Today I'm going to work on a master study inspired by him. You'll see, like I said, you'll see the reference photo that I'm using in the upper right hand corner. The thing is, this is a detail of one, and that's why one reason I have this setting here. The full image is very landscape. I was hoping it was going to be in this book, and it's not. He was a Spanish painter famous for his incredible ability to capture warm, glowing light and natural, relaxed poses. His portraits had this beautiful softness and energy that I'm going to try to translate into oil pastels. I feel it in my gut that I need to do some oil painting studies of some of his things. Even just some of the simple ones, like There's a floral back here that's just a little still life. But anyway, yeah, love him, love it. I'll be focusing on how he uses warm tones and soft edges to create a sense of sunlight gently falling across his subject. You notice the lighting on this portrait looks very natural. It doesn't look like it's lit artificially. He could be sitting outside under a tree. Very good. Let's see. If anybody has any questions as I'm going along, please feel free to jump in. Pierre says his work is just amazing, and I couldn't agree more with you about the detail in the hands. Really interesting artist. Yeah, he's I'm in awe. So what I did do, I don't usually do this. This time I did because without going into a lot of detail, because I think we're all under stress, and just because of the world we live in. But in order to cut some of that stress out for myself, I sketched this out with just a Pentel oil pastel. Anyway, if you're interested in him, I highly recommend this book. I do not remember what this cost. I got this off of Amazon. Of course, it was not full price. This says $55. I don't think it was that much at all. I have very rarely spent that or more on a book, so I doubt that's what it was. So anyway, I've kind of sketched it out here to get going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch how the shadows and highlights blend, how things kind of form the shapes. It's going to have loose pastel marks, trying to keep the feeling of it alive so it's not so stagnant and tight, and you know. His skin tones have subtle variations. Sorry, we have somebody working on the house today. This is June 22nd of 25, and I may need to turn on the music and mute myself so that you don't have to hear Poncho barking all the time. But just so you're aware. He's a nervous dog, and there's somebody new here, so yeah. His skin tones are subtle variations of ochres, soft pinks, and muted grays. Pastels I have here. I was making notes on Post-it notes for that book. I'm just setting my pen aside. I wanted to make sure I didn't get it on tomorrow's paper. Oh, speaking of paper, this paper is Grumbacher that I picked up the other day. It is just this. I know I'm talking about Amazon and Walmart. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's, I live in a very rural area. This was on clearance at Walmart for $15, I think. It says it's mixed media paper. It's not real heavy. It's 98 pounds, which isn't bad. But I taped it down here. I did put a layer of gesso on it. I think before I have mentioned doing that, and I contradicted myself a time or two. But this time I definitely put just a layer of gesso on it. clicking between windows. He is adorable. I gave him a haircut the other day. He looks really cute too. He's a wire-haired Jack Russell, and he gets kind of scraggly looking sometimes around his face, and his hair gets down in his eyes, so I had to trim it all back. Okay, muted grays. I'm going to pull out a few of these. These are Sennelier that have been very well used. This is their portrait set. I bought this a few years ago, so I pulled it out. I won't use these till the end because just like when you oil paint, you want to work from hard pastel, like the Pentel, to a softer pastel. And these are the softest ones I have. I have some Mungio right here. I have some Paul Rubens up here. I'm pulling out the yellow ochres and the more muted tones for this. I'm really excited to do this. This guy, I swear, I know that's a little dark, but we'll put that up there. And that was in the wrong box. Put my phone on mute. Let's see, what other colors do we need? I need like a, that's perfect. Is that the same? No. I am going to clean those off before I apply them to the paper, because believe it or not, that's a white. But it won't take much. I just need to wipe them off with pastel on the end of them. Just pulling out some of these. This is not a white. This is like a silver gray. I thought it might be nice for some of the areas around his eyes. And then once we lay that out, I can build up on it, and we'll kind of go back and forth and build this up. This paper that I'm using is about 10.5 by 13, taped off. The taped off area is. I like to tape them off whether I'm using gesso or not, but if you prime your paper, you'll want to tape it down so that when it dries, it'll dry flat and not be warped. It still might be a little warped. Mine was. I just set some books on top of it. And when I set it, came back this morning, yeah, it was fine. Let's see. Oh, I need to keep edges soft in most areas, but adding sharp highlights where light hits the strongest. He does look like he used white, particularly on his nose, the highlight on his nose. Now the highlights up here have more of a fleshy tone to it. So, and this highlight inside of his eye in here is white. But the rest of them look like they're more muted Caucasian flesh tones. I don't want to stress for a perfect likeness or copy of this picture. I just want to capture the mood and the light instead, and how he applied color. And since we are using oil pastel and not oil paint as he did, there's going to be a little variation. I'm going to have a layering process, and I'm going to let the oil pastels build depth and warmth gradually. So there's going to be a lot of time where it's going to be like, what is she doing? It's going to look a mess before it gets better. He was a renowned Spanish painter, celebrated primarily for his mastery of light and color. He was born in Valencia, Spain. He developed an impressionistic style that brilliantly captures the vibrancy of Mediterranean light. I went and I looked, as I said, on that one book, some of his seascapes are beyond amazing. I am going to put gloves on, by the way. He did paint plein air. His wife was often a model, and she was very supportive of him. I think we all need a wife like that, or a spouse. Not everybody can do that, though. Oh, I thought that was white. Was that white? Maybe it's a peachy. Yeah, it is. Okay. So see, you can wipe these off real quick. I do have a white light over here too. I'm doing this bigger than I usually do my pastel studies. Usually my pastel studies are only like 8 by 8, and it really limits how loose I can get. So I'm hoping this will help somewhat in that area. He was highly skilled in portraits, landscapes, and genre scenes. He was known for his luminous brushwork and his ability to convey warmth and movement in his compositions. His work combines the spontaneity of Impressionism with the technical precision of academic training. There is a link in the description to the museum in Madrid that has a collection of his work. And it's housed in his former home and studio, which preserves much of his work and personal archives. There's also a link in the description for the pastel supplies that I use. The link will take you to my website where there's a supply list there. Just FYI. In the original composition, his head was off-centered. It was... Wouldn't you know I don't have any paper, except for a Post-it note. It was very landscape, and then he is over here. I don't know if you can even see that. That's pretty sad. I use a Post-it note for, but he was very off-centered. Instead of being here, he was over here, and the canvas is very landscape. Let's see. Notice that the pose is natural and relaxed. He's just sitting there looking at us. He's not doing anything that's uncomfortable to pose. I am really interested in learning about how he worked. I've read one little thing today that I had to put a Post-it on it because it was just like, yes, I understand that. Oh, and this is taped. This paper is taped to a drawing board. If you want to tape yours down, you can tape it down on foam core or something that's has a little more stiffness to it. I started to say poster board. I don't think poster board would work at all. Just FYI. And this is just painter's tape. I am going to start. Remember, this is a process. I'm going to use this peachy color. Well, let's go with this instead. This is kind of a light yellow ochre. It's a 250. Yeah, it says pale ochre. It's a 250 of the Mungio Gallery. And I'm going to put this is going to go on darker than, but we're going to blend it so that it has, so that it's got some lighter tones. This is really dark. Really, really dark. Really, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've come across an artist that I'm just like, oh yes. And he is one of those. It makes me want to repaint everything I have painted at least over the last year. Kind of looks like he's wearing a face mask, like he's getting a facial. I did get some blending stumps this time to play with. I have some, but they're so filthy that they've been used for charcoal, so they would not work very well. This was painted during his mature period. Later on, I believe it was 19, I have it in here, 1910? I have it in the notes of the video. But, so he had already gone through a lot of training. Okay. I'm just going to get to work here. Again, if anybody has any questions, I know there's not too many here at the moment, but even if you're watching the replay, just let me know. I'm going to try and keep this really loose. Again, it's not a copy, but I do love his use of the brush marks are amazing. I'm finding that yellow underdrawing a little distracting. I should have used probably a more neutral color. I imagine there are colors closer to the flesh colors in that Sennelier set, but right now I need to lay down a foundation. And the Sennelier, as I said, are very, very soft. I'm debating going ahead and getting them out. Oh, so I can start playing with these a little quicker. I do have my sharp tool here. I have the blenders. I have my mineral spirits and my brush. I think my brush got buried though. Nope, it's right here. To do some blending. I may do more blending on this than I normally do. I'm not going to rush on this for one thing. This is going to be, I'm taking my time today. This paper needs to be pulled away. If I can get it. It's one of the problems of wearing gloves. You can't get your... Let's start with his eyes. Oh, there we go. That's the color I need. Tomorrow's is going to be Lucian Freud in oil paint, who, if you're not familiar, is a figurative artist that is known for having very textured paintings. I have long been an admirer of him. I don't know if you've seen Leonard Nimoy's work, but I believe he was a strong influence to him. I keep flipping back and forth between windows on my, because I want to see what you're seeing, but yours is delayed a little bit. As I said, I'm blocking in at the moment. This is not going to be I need to do a video on how to fix errors. Whoops, pushed too hard on that one. How to fix errors in your oil pastels. Because just because I put these marks down, ooh, it looks ghastly, doesn't he? Does not mean that this is where it's going to stay. There are ways to, if I decide to move parts or whatever, there are ways to do it. You're not stuck with whatever you put down. It is very pliable, malleable medium. I did get a request to do more oil pastels, which is one thing that spurred this one being done in oil pastels. So if there is something that you want to see, particular artist or medium. Well, I'm going to stick with probably more oil paints and I don't know how many more oil pastels I'm going to be doing. I need to do some soul searching. I am going to be hitting 4,000 hours within the next week. So yay! And that's with the official YouTube counter. I am like 119, something like that, away. So maybe we'll have a celebration. If I could afford to, I'd have a giveaway. Of some type. The reason this light is able to go over that is because so cleanly is because the white is softer. It's a Paul Rubens, but it's very soft. Come on, get your little beard on over there. This is a portrait of a gentleman that had a big influence on education. Let's see if I had, because I looked up. Okay, yeah, the portrait is notable not only for its artistic merit, but also for its historical significance, capturing a leading intellectual of the era. There goes Pancho again. This is Casio. His work in education and art history left an indelible mark on Spanish society. His efforts in modernizing education through the ILE, and I did not look up what that is exactly, and his scholarly contributions to art history continue to be celebrated. The Foundation Francisco Guinea de los Rios, established in 1916, sorry, I know I butchered that, stands as a testament to his dedication to educational reform and his enduring legacy. So the fact that this gentleman had such an impact on education, to me is just, yeah. I'm very big. Well, I think we all are on being educated, whether it's self or formal. Oh, I already have that one pulled out. Let's see. I'm gonna put some darks in here, just for my own little landmark. And I really do mean that it makes me want to repaint everything I've done in the last year. His work just, I don't know. And what he wrote to his wife, just I could relate to it so much. As an artist, as a painter, as a creative. I should pull it out and read it to you. But I think you might be getting tired of me talking and not getting on with the work. The background looks to be kind of a taupe-ish. Let's see if we can get something close. Unfortunately, I do not see anything that is close. So maybe we can just create it. Oh, one thing I don't know if you noticed about this paper, that sketchbook, you can take the pages out and put them back in. Is one reason I bought it, because I'm thinking I could do oil pastels like this and just keep them in that notebook, much like I did the master studies. This is just to kind of fill it in. So we've got something back here to build out of, to make it come out of. And this is, well, I tore it off. This is a Paul Rubens. It's kind of a splotchy, so I will gladly go over that again. And make it smoother with another color. There is a playlist of oil pastel pieces, if anybody's interested in just that. Oh, do I already have that out? Nope. I don't know what color this is, I'm sorry. But it's like a mauve-y color. I think it's a Mungio. No, it's not going on very well though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the these Hayas out. These are sort of like a Sennelier as far as like softness, but they are a lot less expensive. They're made by Paul Rubens. By the way, if you're an oil painter or a painter, I found some brushes that I am blown away by. It's not a paid review or whatever. This is so oily. Look. This is a Sennelier. It wound up in my Haya. Put that up there. My Sennelier have been very well used. And it's warm in Kansas today. And I have a fan on in here and the AC's on. And they're still, I mean, they're really soft. You don't want to purchase these and then leave them in your car or any oil pastel for that matter. They'll melt. But with this heat right now, it's only June. Crazy. I went back to the Mungio. I'm going to switch back and forth here. Just whatever's going to work. I don't think I have his head wide enough. This part of his head. Yeah. poncho is spoiled rotten. You'll notice I got that shape off. I'm mainly putting this light yellow ochre on there just to blend that a little bit because it looks so rough. Oh, the brushes, I'm not going to make you wait for the video because I made a video of it. But if you're an oil painter or a painter, Transin makes this set of brushes that there's 12 of them in a set. If you're looking for just an inexpensive, good brush, I mean, we all love Rosemary and Co. But sometimes maybe you just don't want to use the ones that cost a lot, or you know, they're like $12 for a set of 12. They did send a set to me when I wanted to review a bag that they had, but that's been several months ago, and I've already done the video. That's pretty close. Video on those items. Long story short, the brushes that they sent to me as like an extra, I was mainly impressed by. You can get them off of Amazon. There's a affiliate link. I shouldn't talk too much about them in this video. We're oil pastel right now. But there's a link to them in my supply list, if that's something that you're looking for. Again, I live in a very rural area, so 99.9% of what I get, I have to either drive 2 or 3 hours to get, or have it shipped to me. So and even if I don't finish this today and I have to follow this up with another day, that's what I'm going to do. It would be nice if I get it done today, but we're going to go with what we need rather than what we want. This is rounder. This is slipping in the paper too. I need to start. This looks darker here to me than what I'm getting. I do want to mention, even though I gessoed this with regular gesso, there is a clear gesso put out by Liquitex that I've also used, and it leaves a texture. So if you're if you prefer that type of surface, it's been a while since I've done. You'll notice too that his face is not symmetrical. If you draw a line down the middle of it, it is like two very different faces. I may need to use the brush with the mineral spirits in order to get these eyes. Sorry if I'm getting too quiet, and it's not. Just focusing in on the work a little bit more. I don't know why, but his hair reminds me of John Ritter. For those that want to know, I am in Kansas, and it is a very rural area in southeast Kansas. No, I said I was going to pull out my Salier a little more, but it just seems like there's enough to fill in with these others that aren't quite so soft. Just a reminder too, tomorrow's Master Study Monday is going to be starting at noon and not at 10 a.m. because I have an appointment. It's been scheduled for quite a while. Now his nose reminds me of Sam Waterston. I think that's what his name is. I know this part, again, as I've said before in other videos, I know this part is usually the most boring part or the least exciting for people watching. But for me, this is the This is the exciting part of laying it out and laying down the foundation. I always get asked what kind of tool this is. It's just a sculpting tool that is used to scratch into the clay. There are many things you can use that will work similar. I didn't get that right. It needs to come down there. Sorry about that. There will probably be times during this stream where I need to take a break and do things like use the restroom, get something to drink. Is this the simile? Yeah, it is. This is simile. I thought it felt awful soft. I'm just sketching that out again for my own benefit. It's not going to stay that light. I will say, since I gessoed it, that bottom layer of oil pastel is not as adhered to the paper. I'm able to scratch it off a little more. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to put all the simile. It's hard to tell what colors these are. They're so dirty. Should have put them in the fridge before I started using them today. I didn't think they were going to be this soft. That'll teach me. It's like butter. Like butter, I say, like butter. I'd love to have a full set of these Senneliers someday. If I keep doing oil pastels, because they are just, they're like magic. But they are really soft. I saw something earlier and then I didn't do anything about it. Ah, Poncho, come on, give me a break. Sorry. Trying to find a really light. See, I mean, look at how soft that is. I want to say it's like butter. It's like, I'm not exaggerating on the texture either. Sorry. Poncho! I may have to mute myself and turn the music on. I think he's done for now. For now. There he's back underneath the table, my feet. I'm looking at how far down I went with the suit jacket. If that is accurate or not. Again, it's not a copy, it's a study, so I say that, but just wondering if I have it too far down. I'll leave it there for now. I may wind up leaving some of these scratches at the final one. You'd think being a portrait set, it would have a little more of like neutrals. But it does not. It slid right out the other end. If I had not gessoed that, I wouldn't have been able to get that little line in there. It's really frustrating not having the exact color and then not being able to mix it the way I want. If I were using oils, I feel like I would be much more confident. But we are going to do it. Just do it, right? As I said, this is a process. You have to trust the process. It's not going to just pop out looking exactly right. Oops. I think I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to use some of these blenders on the eye area to get in there, because there's some very fine blenders in here. I know that was more like scraping it away, but that's okay. I need something that can do both. That, no, look at that. I'm going to wear these out really quick this way. I don't use these blenders very often, so um, I'm learning this part along with you all. I'm just going over it really lightly to blend. I feel like I have his nose in there adequately. That goes up. That goes up. How dirty that already is. That takes skill, y'all. I'm kidding. Yeah, I know that white spot's way off. We can take care of that. Hey. What's everybody else working on? What are you doing today? Poncho's growling because he's tough. Shh. If you missed it, we have people working on some things at the house. He's a nervous dog, so he's worried about it. I've got strange people being around. I'm using a little more of this pinky color around the eyes because the eyes, nose, and ears are all skin is very thin, so it shows what's going on under there with the blood flow. I'm hoping that will help bring out some, yeah, it did, some shape, some form. That did help. I need like a real pale. See, I can't, my eyes can't tell if that is pink. I don't have a lot of detail around the eyes because I'm having trouble getting small marks. And I'm being very timid. I don't know why. time is it? Oh, it started at 11, right? Or, yeah. I looked at the clock and I thought I had started 45 minutes ago. I was like, no, that can't be right. It's because it wasn't. I saw a kid yesterday that used to hang out at our house growing up. And when he got to be a little older, he got into all kinds of trouble. And it's completely turned his life around. It's really, yeah, pretty darn awesome. This is kind of a salmon color. Let's see. I'm gonna get my Hayas out and see if there's something that will going back to my Sennelier. Sometimes you just have to make your color. You're not always going to have the color you need. I am going to use my mineral spirits now with the paintbrush. I have just a little container I use for my oil painting. The main thing I'm seeing is this little, the eye. I'm having a lot of trouble with this eye. And I am barely putting any mineral spirits on it. I heard some banging around, so don't be surprised if Poncho starts barking again. Trying to pick up some of that brown. I know I'm losing a lot of any freshness because I'm being so timid with it. But I don't think it can be helped. It's just I know these are oil pastels. Some people are probably wondering why I'm using a brush. It is just another way to blend. I'm trying really hard not to get mud. On parts of this, and it's proving to be difficult. I can see the painting, the original painting in it a little more now than I did initially. So that's good. But I am getting very, I don't feel like I'm getting pure color like I should be. That's unnerving as all get out. Okay, killer. Okay. Poncho. Chill. Anybody want a dog? I'll sell them to you cheap. Not really. I'm gonna let that over here dry. Well, here, we're gonna do this. Hush! That's enough. Oh, good grief, dog. Yeah, it was getting pretty muddy there, so. I'm okay with pulling that up. Dog, cheap. I don't know what they're doing outside. It's driving Poncho crazy. This cheek is just, it's fighting me. It looks like a chipmunk right now. If anybody has any questions or suggestions or observations or insights, feel free. I promise I don't bite. This is proving to be much more difficult than I had anticipated. That right there looks white on your camera, and it's not. It's I'm gonna wipe that off. Because I put mineral spirits on it, I could just, yeah. Right there needs to be a lot lighter. Give me this cheap